Forever Green presents 9 unbelievable stories of children who were raised by animals. Number 1. Russian boy who was raised by goats. In June 2012, media in Russia discovered a toddler who had been locked in a room by his mother with goats. The boy in fact played and slept with the goats, and he is weighed a third less than a normal child of his age. When the child was freed, his mother had disappeared. Doctors have since tried to adjust the toddler to human life, with some difficulty. He denied to sleep in the bed. He tried to get beneath and sleep there. He was very frightened of adults. This story remembers me the kids from popular Hollywood horror film Mama. Number 2. The girl who was raised by wild cats and dogs. In 2009, social workers found a flat in Siberian town where they found a 5-year-old girl they called Natasha. While she was living with her father and other relatives, Natasha was treated like one of the many dogs and wild cats. Like her companions, Natasha licked the food from bowls left on the floor. She didn't know the human language and could only communicate by making buzzing sounds and barking. The father was not found when authorities saved the girl, and since Natasha has been placed in an orphanage. Number 3. The Gazelle Boy. In the 1960s, Jean Auger, an anthropologist from Basque Country, was traveling alone across the Spanish Sahara when he found a boy in the middle of a large group of gazelles. The boy ran so fast that he was only caught with the help of an Iraqi army jeep. Though the boy is terribly thin and extremely fit and strong with muscles of steel, the boy walked on his hands and knees. Auger also came to know that boy was left or lost around at the age of 7 or 8 months. He came to know he habitually twitched his muscles, scalp, nose and ears, much like the gazelles do. The reporters said they noticed that the Gazelle Boy was never separated from his wild companions. Number 4. The Spanish boy who was adopted by wolves. Marcos Pantoja was only 7 years old when he was sold to a goat herder. After the death of goat herders, he lived alone with wolves in Sierra Morena for 11 years. At 19, he was found by the Guardia Civil and forcibly brought to a tiny village where he was finally civilized and currently lives an ordinary life. A sequel and a documentary were created concerning his wonderful surviving story, and he currently provides lectures to children of school to teach related to wolves. Number 5. Oxana Malaya, who lived with dogs for 6 years. In 1991, Ukrainian Oxana Malaya was found living with dogs in a kennel. By the time she was 8, she had lived with them for 6 years. Oksana's parents were addicted to alcoholics, and once she was started walking, they left her outside. She crawled into the farm kennel looking for warmth and curled up with the dogs, an act that saved her life. When a person found her, she rapidly ran on her hands and knees, breathing heavily, showed her teeth and barked on him like a dog. She was lived less with humans. She only knew the words yes and no. Oksana currently lives in a clinic in Odessa, working with the hospital's farm animal. Number 6. Ivan Mishukov survived 2 winters protected by dogs. 4 years old, Ivan Mishukov was ran away from home because of an abusive alcoholic father. He started wandering the streets of Moscow, searching for food and shelter. When he found a group of wild dogs, he became a friend of them. The dogs became his guards. They kept strangers away from him at night and provided him with the warmth like his family. Even though the dogs decided who were looking for him, allowing him to slip away without any harm. Unbelievably, he lived like this for 2 years, that's 2 Moscow winters. When people finally caught him, he was a dirty mess with fleas. Dogs were violently showing their teeth at people. Finally, he was captured from there. He is civilized and now lives a normal life. Number 7. Traian Calderer, a Romania's Mowgli boy. Romania's Mowgli boy was bring together with his mother Lina Calderer several years after living with wild animals in the forests of Transylvania in 2002. Hospital staff has nicknamed him as Mowgli after the character in the Jungle Book. He was found by a shepherd barely alive, huddled in a cardboard box, naked and the size of a 3 years old. He had forgotten how to speak. Doctors said it had been nearly impossible for him to survive alone, and wild dogs in the Transylvanian forest looked after him. Personally, I think it's more fictional than the Mowgli movie. Number 8. Rochom, the Cambodian Jungle Girl. In 2007, a Cambodian woman appeared dirty, naked and frightened from the dark jungle of Ratanakiri province in remote northeastern Cambodia. Local police said the woman was half human and half animal and could not speak any clear language. She became globally known as the Cambodian Jungle Girl and is believed to be Rochom, who disappeared and found on the edge of the jungle 19 years before. Number 9. Marina Chapman, the woman raised by monkeys. Marina Chapman, born nearly 1950, is a Colombian-born British woman. Chapman states that when she was 4 years old, she was taken from her village and freed for reasons she did not understand. She spent her childhood with capuchin monkeys until hunters saved her, by which point she was unable to learn human language. She have been sold to a brothel in Cucuta to have lived on the streets and been imprisoned by a mafia family. Finally, she moved to England where she got married and now have kids. Her daughter convinced her to write her story and she finally published her autobiography, The Girl with No Name, in 2013. Thanks for watching.